Gwen Stefani shutting down rumors she and Blake Shelton are getting divorced.
I was like, what? That's crazy.
Country music star Blake Shelton has left fans in tears after announcing his divorce from Gwen Stefani. The couple, who tied the knot in 2021, were once seen as one of the most admired couples in the industry, but that image has now been shattered by Shelton's heartbreaking announcement. His journey through love and loss has always echoed the themes of his songs: twists, turns, heartbreak, and hope, and it all began long before the world knew his name. In 2003, Blake married his longtime partner, Kaynette Gurn, a relationship that was built in the shadows, away from fame. But just 3 years later, their marriage quietly came to an end. Then, in 2005, Shelton met Miranda Lambert at a duet concert, and that spark quickly turned into something deeper. Their voices blended on stage in perfect harmony, especially in their performance of Home, which reached #1 on the country charts. After years of building a life together, Shelton proposed in 2010, and they married in 2011, in a celebration full of joy and promise. Yet behind the spotlight, real pain was growing. In 2012, Blake lost his father, Dick Shelton, at the age of 71, just as memories of another tragedy resurfaced: the death of his older brother Richie in a car accident back in 1990. Together, Blake and Miranda poured their grief into music, writing Over You as a tribute to Richie. The song touched millions and earned Song of the Year at the CMAs and the ACMs. But even the most beautiful music can't always fix what's broken. By 2015, their marriage ended in divorce, leaving both artists to walk separate paths and fans wondering what could have been. That same year, Shelton found himself working on Season 9 of The Voice, seated next to Gwen Stefani, who, like him, was facing her own painful divorce. What began as a shared sorrow slowly became a connection, and that connection grew into something real. Blake would later say she came into his life at exactly the right moment. That year, they wrote Go Ahead and Break My Heart together, capturing the uncertainty and vulnerability of new love. As the years passed, their bond deepened. They recorded holiday songs, love duets like Nobody But You and Happy Anywhere, and their chemistry captivated fans around the world. Blake admitted that before Gwen, he thought he understood love. But with her, everything changed. In 2020, he proposed in a quiet chapel on his Oklahoma property, surrounded by her children and family. And on July 3, 2021, they were married in that same chapel in a heartfelt ceremony that felt more like a celebration of healing than just a wedding. Blake embraced his role as a stepfather, growing close to Gwen's 3 sons and finding joy in the day-to-day life of a family man. At the same time, his career continued to soar, with Forbes estimating his income at nearly $29 million in 2015. He even discovered he was distantly related to Robin Meade and had the honor of officiating Trace Adkins' wedding. But even the brightest stars cast shadows. Whispers of trouble in his relationship with Gwen began to surface. Then came the American Music Awards. It was supposed to be a night of celebration, but instead, it turned into a storm. As fans watched Gwen walk the red carpet alone, dressed in a bold metallic gown and flashing a radiant smile, one question echoed everywhere: where was Blake? Reports soon spread that a planned performance between the two had fallen apart, that Gwen had made changes without telling Blake, and what was once supposed to be a symbol of unity now felt like a public fracture. And when Gwen took the stage to debut a new song titled No Apology Required, with lyrics about betrayal, distance, and standing strong alone, it was impossible not to draw conclusions. The message was loud, clear, and heartbreaking. Blake's absence became more than a mystery. It became a statement. In the days that followed, his silence only made the rumors grow louder. Then, without warning, he posted a quiet message online. Short, simple, but deeply emotional. Fans immediately knew something was wrong. The outpouring of love and concern was immediate, but Gwen remained silent, leaving the world wondering what had really happened. As the world speculated, another blow came. His album, Backroads and Heartaches, scheduled for release in June 2025, was delayed by his record label. They feared the drama would overshadow the music, that instead of hearing his words with clarity, fans would only hear echoes of controversy. For Blake, this wasn't just a setback, it was a heartbreak. He had poured his soul into those songs, hoping to share his story through music, only to have that chance pulled away. Close friends say he's been struggling more than he lets on. While he smiles in public, behind the scenes, the weight of everything, his career, his personal life, the growing pressure, has taken its toll. This isn't the first time Blake has faced heartbreak. His divorce from Miranda Lambert was painful, but this feels different. Many believed Gwen was his forever, his steady anchor, and now that belief is unraveling in front of millions. While Gwen stays quiet, some believe she's preparing for a new chapter, one that lets her stand alone again as an artist and a woman, separate from the couple identity she's shared for years. Her powerful performance at the awards show seemed to send that message loud and clear. But for Blake, the fallout has been far more emotional. He's retreated to his ranch in Oklahoma, far from the spotlight, surrounded by family and nature. There, he's writing, reflecting, and trying to heal. Those close to him say he's leaning into the quiet, into the things that ground him. He's always handled pain with a mix of humor and honesty, and even now, there's a quiet hope that something beautiful will come from this. New music, new strength, a new beginning. For now, he hasn't spoken more about his album, or Gwen, but his fans believe in him. He's risen before, and they trust he'll rise again. They've found healing in his music for years, and now they're offering him their support in return. Through every note he's ever sung, he's reminded people they're not alone in their struggles, and now they're reminding him of the same. If you want to stay connected to Blake's story, keep listening, because this chapter isn't over yet. There's something about silence that speaks louder than any headline ever could. And in that silence, away from the glare of cameras, the noise of public speculation, and the pressure to respond, Blake is slowly rebuilding. His days now begin with the rustle of wind through the trees, the sound of gravel under boots, and the hum of life on the ranch that has always brought him peace. The land isn't just a home, it's a sanctuary, a place where memories live beside possibility, where songs are born not in studios, but in moments of stillness, heartache, and healing. For Blake, songwriting has never been just about melody. It's been a conversation with the parts of himself he can't always express in words. It's been his therapy, his confession, his way of connecting when life feels too heavy to carry alone. Those who know him best say he's been journaling constantly, scribbling lyrics on scraps of paper, humming unfinished tunes in the barn, whispering melodies into his phone during late-night walks. These fragments might one day become full songs, or they might stay hidden forever, but for now, they're helping him breathe again. What hurts the most, according to one friend, isn't just the loss of a partner, it's the loss of the shared future they built together. It's the empty chair at dinner, it's the quiet at bedtime when the boys have gone to sleep, and he finds himself staring at the ceiling, wondering where it all went wrong. It's the little things, the songs that once made them laugh, the places they visited, the inside jokes that now feel like echoes in an empty room. Even though they haven't publicly confirmed the end of their relationship, those closest to him say Blake knows it's over. Not because of a big argument or a final goodbye, but because of the slow fading of connection, the kind that can't be fixed with flowers or apologies. And yet, despite everything, he doesn't seem angry. He seems grateful. Grateful that he got to love someone again after thinking he never would. Grateful that he got to experience fatherhood even if it was through another man's children. Grateful that for a moment, after years of heartbreak, he believed in forever again. That kind of gratitude doesn't erase the pain, but it does soften the edges. It gives him something to hold on to when everything else feels like it's slipping away. There's a quiet strength in Blake Shelton that's easy to overlook. He's known for the jokes, the playful banter, the larger-than-life TV persona, but underneath all of that is a man who has walked through fire more than once. Losing his brother at 14 changed him forever. Losing his father years later reopened wounds that never fully healed. Going through 2 high-profile divorces in front of the entire world would break most people. But Blake, somehow, keeps showing up. Not because he's fearless, but because he's real. Because he knows that people don't connect with perfection. They connect with truth. And the truth is, he's still hurting. But he's not hiding from it. When he does return to music, it won't be with a flashy announcement or a chart-topping single carefully crafted to fit into radio formats. It'll be raw, honest, the kind of music that doesn't ask for applause but earns respect. Fans are already whispering about what the new album might sound like. Will it be full of sorrow? Will it reflect his journey back to joy? No one knows. And maybe that's the point. The best songs don't give you answers, they give you a place to feel. At the same time, those around him are encouraging him to take all the time he needs. There's no rush. His legacy is already secure. With over 2 decades in the industry, countless awards, and millions of records sold, he's earned the right to pause, to be still, to grieve, and to dream again on his own terms. And while Gwen has remained publicly silent, Blake's not waiting for closure from her. He's learning that sometimes closure doesn't come in the form of words. It comes in acceptance, in choosing peace over explanation, in letting go even when there are still questions left unanswered. That takes courage, the quiet kind, the kind most people never see. Back in Oklahoma, there are signs that life is slowly returning to normal. He's been seen fishing on the lake, working on the property, laughing with old friends. He hasn't returned to the stage just yet, but when he does, the applause will hit differently. It won't be just for the music. It'll be for the man behind it, the one who kept going when the world expected him to fall apart. Fans have started sharing their own stories online, stories of heartbreak, of rebuilding, of finding new strength in unexpected places. Many of them say that Blake's journey feels like their own, that hearing his music helped them through dark seasons. And now, they want him to know that he's not alone. It's a full-circle moment. The artist who helped others heal is now being healed by the very people who listened to him all these years. As for what comes next, no one really knows. Maybe he'll release the album in a few months. Maybe he'll take a year off. Maybe he'll write a book. Or maybe he'll just keep living quietly, one sunrise at a time. Whatever he chooses, it'll be the right choice, because it'll be his. This moment in Blake Shelton's life isn't the end of his story. It's the middle of a chapter that's still being written, one filled with unanswered questions, quiet courage, and the slow rediscovery of self. And while it may not look like the love story people expected, it might just be the kind of story that lasts, the kind that's built not on fairy tale endings, but on real, raw, resilient truth. So as the dust settles and the world moves on to the next headline, Blake Shelton is still out there, walking the fields, playing his guitar, writing about the things he can't yet say. And when he's ready, he'll speak again. Not in interviews or press releases, but in the language he knows best, music. And when that day comes, the world will be listening, hearts wide open, ready to hear what he has to say. Because if there's one thing we know about Blake Shelton, it's that even when he's down, he's never out. He's a storyteller, a fighter, a man who's lost and loved and lived enough for 100 songs. And somewhere out there, maybe even today, he's writing the first lines of the next one. His fans haven't gone anywhere. In fact, they've grown louder, not with noise, but with support. They've flooded his social media with kind messages, posted old clips from concerts where his eyes lit up with joy, and reminded each other of the man behind the fame. The man who once said that a guitar and a good porch were all he really needed. The man who never pretended to be perfect and never needed to. There's a comfort in knowing that someone as real as Blake still believes in second chances, even after all he's been through. People are drawn to Blake not just because he sings well, but because he feels deeply. Every laugh, every sorrow, every stumble, it all shows up in his voice. You don't just hear his songs, you feel them in your bones. That kind of connection doesn't fade with time or controversy. It only deepens. And right now, as he takes a step back from the spotlight, it's that connection keeping the bond between him and his audience stronger than ever. There's talk that he started working on more than just music. Ideas for a memoir have been floating around, something reflective and unfiltered, his own story in his own words. Not the tabloid version, not the version filtered through headlines and speculation, but the truth as he's lived it. The heartbreak, the healing, the behind-the-scenes moments that shaped the man we see today. If he chooses to share it, it won't be flashy. It'll be honest, raw. A mirror held up to a life that has been anything but ordinary. And yet, despite all that life has thrown at him, Blake's heart hasn't hardened. If anything, it's become more open. He's the kind of person who still checks in on old friends, still waves to neighbors he's known for years, still believes in sitting down to dinner without a phone in sight. That kind of groundedness is rare in a world where image often overshadows integrity. But Blake has never chased trends. He's followed his gut. And even now, that same gut is telling him to slow down, breathe, and let the next chapter come naturally. He's spending more time outdoors, rediscovering the simple joys of everyday life. Early mornings with a cup of coffee on the porch, watching the sunrise over the hills. Long afternoons on the tractor, clearing brush or tending to the land. Evenings spent with an acoustic guitar, plucking out chords that may one day turn into full songs, or maybe they won't. But that's okay too. It's not about the next hit anymore. It's about finding peace in the process. And somewhere in the quiet, there's growth. Not the kind that's measured by chart positions or streaming numbers, but the kind that lives in the soul. The kind that comes from facing your fears, sitting with your grief, and choosing to keep moving forward anyway. That's the Blake Shelton his fans admire. Not the star, but the man. The one who still believes in love, even after love has let him down. The one who still writes about hope, even when he's hurting. The one who walks through the fire, not around it. When he returns, and he will return, it won't be for attention or applause. It'll be because he has something meaningful to say, a new truth to share, a new melody to carry the weight of his story. And when that first chord rings out, it'll mark the beginning of a comeback not fueled by hype, but by heart. Because that's who Blake Shelton has always been. Not just a country singer, not just a celebrity, but a man who turns life into music, one verse at a time. And no matter how dark the night, he always finds a way to sing the morning back. So wherever you are right now, whether you're facing your own heartbreak or just holding on to hope, know this. The music will return. The laughter will too. And somewhere out on that Oklahoma ranch, under an open sky, a new song is being written. And it just might be his best one yet.